flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. The department head updates. The first, Tim.
Well, I'm glad to see you guys. I wasn't here the last meeting I was supposed to attend, but, I did watch it on YouTube, so, I guess as far as the reservoir proposal, I mean, if anybody has questions, now I'm here, so seem to be a little bit of, mixed signals on it last meeting, but if you guys are all clear on it now, that's fine.
I think the biggest thing that's not clear is gonna be how this is gonna be presented.
Right.
During the meeting, and I personally wasn't getting along fuzzy with the answers we were getting at the meeting.
Right.
So, and I think we need to nail down that presentation.
Yeah, I already have it. It's the same presentation I gave, 5 years ago. We secured, we had it, get the votes for it. I think the following year, they rescinded the warrant article. So, I mean, the need is still there. Basically, in a nutshell, there's no storage out there.
No, but it was rescinded because some of the funding fell through.
It was rescinded because it was tying up money that they couldn't use. This minute
We
they,
had matched, we had to get set aside that we couldn't
right,
use.
and that money was earmarked after that.
Yeah.
But basically, the whole moral of the story is there's no storage east of town.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
the water plant puts out 350 gallons a minute.
Clear take on the high points, so if we use more than 350 gallons a minute, the clear oil will drop and then it'll recover. But I did a calculation, if you flow a flathead on 1,000 gallons a minute, you're gonna run out the
So it more or less renders pretty much every hydrant out that way, very, very, very limited. It doesn't only affect people east of the Israel, it also affects people that aren't on the public water supply, because if the fire department needs water for a non-water user, they'll probably want to tag the closest hydrant on that side of town, so that's kind of it in a nutshell. I have a longer rendition of it, but I just want to make sure that if you guys have any questions, I would answer them.
Okay. I mean, that was my biggest concern
As if,
how it's gonna be presented and
yeah. Because at any point in time, when on that side of town, if the usage exceeds 350 gallons a minute, the clear well and the water you'll deplete it. So that's,
How close are we to the 350 number? Like what is,
oh, I mean, you gotta remember too, that water facility has to make water 24/7. It never shuts off. So, we're probably around, on average, probably around, well, at times, like the North Road building, at times it'll flow 350 through.
short durations. That's when the clear well at the water plant kind of takes up the slack. And then after that little short duration slows down, then the clear well fills back up again. So we do go through, but on average, we're probably using, probably around 225 gallons a minute on average. It depends if we're filling the reservoir on the side of town or not. It's all balanced. I'm not trying to be a salesman on it. I mean, I've operated the system this long without it. And a few years back, I wrote a letter to Ed Sampson, Mike Lee, and Dennis Bacon, because I was concerned, and I wanted to make sure that the people were informed that, you know, in the event of a large fire or a large water main break, you know, we could have some issues. I mean, you're kind of talking about maybe a perfect storm scenario, you know, but just, you know, people need to be aware of it.
Anything else on?
The other thing is, we are, I know we've talked about this in previous meetings, but, we're up for a new EPA permit, discharge permit, and the draft permit, comment period was open. And that's when you can kind of complain about some of the requirements they're asking us to do, so the letter will go out tomorrow, with the comments, and a lot of it is, you know, it was like $12,000 a year additional for lab, just for, in my opinion, kind of like nonsense, I think, because what happens is the EPA doesn't care. What they're doing now is they're issuing small permits, small system permits, medium-sized permits, and large permits. So what they do is because we're over a 1 million gallon per day permitted treatment plant, we fall on the medium-sized general permit. So it doesn't matter if you're in Lancaster or Portsmouth, New Hampshire, or Manchester, if you are in that medium-sized category, you are getting the same permit. And I don't really think that's fair, especially to do it, you know, 5 years. You know, you've had this old permit and previous permits for, you know, however long, and now all of a sudden you're possibly giving us this permit. That is just, it's just ludicrous. So whether.
A new requirement of theirs to move into a category of small.
It used to be,
medium, large?
yeah. It used to be you got an individual permit. They give you a permit based on your community, your wastewater treatment plant, your discharge. It was tailored to your facility. Now, in order to simplify things, they've given out general permits. And we fall under the medium-sized general permit.
Generally more of the government one size should fit all.
Exactly.
Should fit all.
Right. I mean, if you are a large system that has, you know, sophisticated treatment and things like that, a lot of the stuff you might already be doing, because you might have had you know, let's just say, let's just pick a fictitious town. Let's just say Manchester. Manchester might have already had an individual permit that had all these requirements. So for them to get this medium-sized general permit, it's really not much different. But for us to get that, it's a lot. It's gonna be a substantial amount more work. I mean, they want us to do horrendous amounts of sampling. And then it's gonna be very expensive. And we have commented on our permits before to try to get stuff taken out or removed from it. And the success rate's not very high. They don't seem to like to compromise, so I'm not sure what's gonna happen with that. So I guess we'll have to be continued on that.
When is that permit date?
Well, a while back, we sent a letter to extend the permit, the draft permit comment period, because it was all due like right around the holidays. And they granted us the extension, and I think this comment period is open, don't quote me on this, somewhere around March, Aprilish, and then it'll close, and then they'll go into, you know, I don't know when they'll actually issue a permit. But what happens is when they issue that permit, it's active the day you get it, at basically the stroke of midnight. And they don't care if you have any of your, so what happens if you don't have any of these implementations, any of these sampling protocols and all that in place, you get your permit and day one, you're violating the permit. They do it all the time.
So that's why you're looking for that
Yeah, the skaters.
Article 2.
Yeah, that's kind of, well, one of the parameters that in that permit is because we're a chlorinated system, they want us to have, automation for our chlorination system, and they want it to be monitored, and they want it to be alarmed. We have none of them in place right now. So that's why that Article 2 is kind of setting the stage for, again, when they issue the permit, you don't have that stuff implemented. Yeah.
So the existing SCADA system, this is like in addition to
No,
existing.
the existing skaters for the water system. we have no SCADA system for the wastewater system. And this, I mean, it's $100,000, and that's basically, it's a pretty basic SCADA system that we could build on. You know, it would, if we get this provision in our permit, it'll cover that part. So,
Do you happen to know other communities that are going through, that, or have just gone through what you're going through, like going into medium and what they've done?
that part is, it used to be they had a general permit for smaller systems. Kind of everybody fell into that category. Like the Grange system is considered a small system general permit. But believe it or not, because Lancaster is a combined system, it puts us over that one MGD threshold. And a lot of towns, the surrounding towns around us, they're not a combined system, so they're under one MGD. So I guess we can't, maybe Gorham. I don't know Gorham, I'm not sure if Gorham's over one MGD either. So. Again, we talked about this before, the best thing this town can do is start separating their sewer and their stormwater, because you can get, if you do that, you can get out from under the medium-sized general permit in the future, become small. And then eventually, when you have to build a new wastewater treatment plant, which you will soon, you can build a much smaller one. Right now, if you had to build a wastewater treatment plant, they're gonna base it on your current flow. So taking the stormwater out of the sewer, very important.
Do we have a good inventory of how much more we have to, because I know as we've done projects, we've tried to do that.
But we did a study, you know, we always seem to give grant money out to do studies. And then we end up generating a lot of paper. Well, they did a study on stormwater on that side of the bridge. It was $8 million to do the separation on this, that side.
In what year's dollars?
2 years, or a year ago, 2 years ago, so yeah. Again, everything is going crazy, like this, you know, going back to the reservoir, that same reservoir that we wanted to build, there was like 1.2 or $1.4 million, now it's what, 3.6 million? For the same reservoir at the same place, no changes, exactly the same. That's crazy. A lot of that stuff, we gotta stop putting our nose to the grindstone, because we're gonna be in trouble.
How long is the permit good for?
5 years. I mean, other than that, I mean, we've been keeping busy with a lot of our maintenance, you know, inside maintenance. We're fixing up one of our trailers. This afternoon, we found out one of the shear gates of the lagoons that we use to regulate the depths of the ponds. The rod that lifts the shear gate up and down, it rotted off, and the shear gate fell down inside. So we can't do anything with it till spring or summer, because we gotta actually go out to get in there. But, and I fixed one of the other ones a long time ago. Now this one let go, so we're adjusting it just manually with like a gate box. Now we'll just look it through till we can fix it. On that, ready for public budget hearing. Thank you.
Yeah,
Pretty much just plowing snow. The town garage repairs are all complete. So,
And how do you decide, I'm gonna get in the weeds for just a minute here. How do you decide like how early to get out? Like, do you wait till there's 2 inches on the ground, or like how?
it depends. Like tonight it's snowing and it's covered and it's warm, it's very slippery. So there's this much, we're gonna put some salt on just to open it back up. If you keep waiting longer, it'll turn to ice and it'll be terrible. If we have to plow, we usually come in at 4. If it's just sand and salt, no plowing, we come in at 5. And if it's continually snowing, we try to go out at 4 or 5, try to make a pass after lunch to get the buses home. And then we try to make one around 5 or 6 and be home by 8. Then we don't come back in unless it's freezing rain until morning. Basically, that's what we
And then do you have coordination with, DOT? or you guys-
No, we don't deal with them.
Yeah.
They come out as we're going home. They'll come out at 9, 10 o'clock at night where it's kind of a waste of time, in my opinion. We try to get it done many times, you know, school getting out, people getting home from work.
Of course, that kind of depends on the intensity of the storm. too.
Yeah, I mean, if you're getting 2 feet of snow, we'd probably be out plowing until 10, 11 o'clock. Only gonna get a couple free tonight, so we'll solve it, we'll be good till 7, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and we'll fix it up in the morning. I mean, it's just, it costs a lot of money if you wanna chase it all night. So pretty much that's it. The only time you see us out all night is if it's freezing.
Any pre-treat?
No.
No.
No, we just try to get it so it's not super slippery. I mean, sometimes you have to let it go. If it's snowing, being bad out there, it's gonna be slippery, and then you do let it go sometimes. But in this case, I mean, you got, in my opinion, you gotta do something with it, because it's time people are traveling around and it's quite slippery out
Good. You have anything, Rob?
Mostly, we've been just working on, trying to get the warrant articles and everything out for the bond hearing. And then we had the zoning meeting on Wednesday night that, pretty extensive minutes, so that's pretty much what I'm doing right now. And preparing for, we're gonna have a planning meeting with a bunch of cases. I think that's about it.
The department heads that wish to depart can do so. Thank you for being here. Not seeing any public hearings on the agenda. Move on to review of the minutes from the January 21st, 2025, regular and non-public.
I will make a motion to approve the regular meeting minutes of January 21 as presented.
Okay. I have to do something on you. I will second that. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
I'll make a motion to approve the non-public, January 21 minutes as presented.
And I will second that motion. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Various paperwork.
I do not have any various paperwork. I have a liquor license.
Okay. And that's under new business, liquor license approval, and that's at the farmer's market. And I believe this is basically a continuation of last year's.
Last year, did you, designate former manager Olson to sign these for you, or were you?
I believe we actually did, because I had questions on the insurance coverage
I
and
think
stuff.
this was after Ben had left.
You came in and signed it. Once we got all of the answers for you,
Yeah,
you
I
came
signed
in.
it.
this is really late in the game, but it's
That's
really
the chair.
close to when.
It was after, this was all handled after Ben left.
But we can appoint Jessica. Do I have a motion to do so? I make a motion to appoint Jessica to sign various paperwork. Thomas Mack. No, not, is it Thomas Mack or is?
No.
The liquor license. Liquor license for Cathedral Ledge. Look at it, right there.
I'll second.
The motion is second. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. And then we have ambulance and fire contracts.
Thank you, Chair. We have 3 ambulance service contracts before you tonight to sign. It's for, an ambulance service contract with Jefferson, Lunenburg, and Guildhall. This is for April 1st, 2025 through March 31st of 2026. And we also have a non-mutual aid member contract for fire department services for the town of Guildhall. And this is to run from April 1st, 2025 through March 31st of 2026. The terms are updated per Chief Flynn. There was apparently a fee schedule or something that was kept in that form.
Yeah.
I think we had discussed that in one of the work sessions.
Jess, I want to make sure there's this tickler system in place for these to be invoiced or sent out before, this is November 11th.
November 11th, yes, it's late in the, some of them are payable, within 30 days of invoicing, so.
Lunenburg is probably different, right?
No, all 3 of them say that the full payment is made no later than November 11th.
Okay.
So, understanding and speaking with Chief Flynn, when I, questioned that, he said that the 3 other towns typically pay right off. However, if they have not, I will make a note to, send the invoice along by October 1st.
I know like Lunenburg doesn't get their tax money until October.
Right, that's why this is probably a November date.
Yeah.
But if we don't
But,
follow up,
right, oh, yeah.
then it's January 3rd when we get it.
So you'll probably from the same boat. Oh, what's that? I'll share.
I don't need to know.
And then the industrial park ownership.
Thank you. So earlier this fall, we received just some questions from AB Excavating regarding files related to the property. I received a phone call in early January, just expressing the fact that there may be discrepancies between the plan lot and the tax map lot in some of the deeds. So I've attached the deeds to which they provided to us, and we did look through the deeds along with former manager Olson to better understand which lots were captured in these documents. Just wanted to put this before you this evening so that we can start to consume this information and maybe take action on this at a future date. But it appears as though there may be a lot that was retained by the town, likely inadvertently. It's highlighted in the map for you. It's currently, lot 15. And it was noted as lot number 10 on the plan. So,
What's the town tax now?
town tax map lot R0115,
Mhm.
plan lot 10.
That was a storage tank?
No, I think the storage tank is at 19.
Correct, yes.
And that lot's transferred. With the transfer to AB, I believe, with the rights of access left to the town.
So
That's-
we transferred the water tank property. Forever.
But it appears, yeah,
There must be,
this stipulation is the,
easements and stuff.
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah, but
okay, what needs to be done?
I just want to make you aware of this because he's come to the town now twice looking for more information regarding this. And whether or not, we think that we need to do something at this point in time or whether or not he should continue,
do you think that lot 15 should be lot 19? That's who that.
I do not know.
I
I don't know what the intentions were during, the transfer of ownership. Correct.
I just find it hard to believe that the town would give up the property where their water tank is sitting. Not own it. They already owned it.
Did we actually own it or CEDC owned it?
well, the town actually owned it.
I don't know.
We had kind of
I'm pretty sure that lot,
handed over the management
Yeah.
of it to the Co-op County
Okay,
Development.
don't call it time. Could someone start at the beginning? Tell me.
For many years ago, many moons
Back
ago.
in the beginning.
We purchased this area basically for hopeful to develop a industrial park. The topography of it didn't lend itself necessarily to a great industrial park. This is also at one time when a for-profit prison was looking on one of the very back lots. to go. I think the first fruitful thing that came out, FD Spalding actually purchased their lot and was looking to develop their new store there.
Yeah, I think the deal was for him to purchase it, he put the water and sewer in,
I believe
he
so.
got the lawn or something.
Yeah.
like that.
That ended up not happening. They went into the Timberland building, plus the cost of building and stuff was. At that point, I believe AB bought that lot
On the town.
No,
from Spalding
That's all.
initially. And then he bought a couple more lots and started doing the sand and gravel business out there, the stone and stuff. Which eventually, in who knows how many years, might actually make that a usable area for industrial development. If we had kept anything, I would have thought it would have been where the tank was.
Yeah, that's why I'm just wondering if this lot 15 is marked out and it was labeled lot 10 that he's saying, but lot 19 is gone with our water tank. I wonder if 15 is supposed to be 19. It was just transposed.
Lot 15 shows Lancaster in the GIS.
Yes.
I think we need to do a little more research on that.
Yeah.
You agree?
I would agree. There's something,
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but something's not right. So it was owned by Lancaster and sold to Coas Economic Development in 2021.
In 2021.
In 2021, only 3 years ago?
That's what it's saying here.
Really?
Sale type vacant, town of Lancaster was before. It says 2021, but for some reason I thought it was longer than that, so maybe it was some sort of reclassification.
It was well before that, wasn't it?
It was, for the last known owner before Granite Estate was CEDC, so I don't know. As the booking page for the CEDC, no, sorry, sold to Granite Estate in 2021. I'm reading Jason's records and getting my numbers wrong here. So 2021 sold to AB, and it sold from the town of Lancaster to Coas Economic Development in 2000. So Coas Economic Development was the last owner before it went to Granite State and Landhold. That's the water tank one, lot 19.
What do you find on lot 15? History there.
I realize I focused.
15 shows no sales.
Right.
Down the road.
Just town of Lancaster.
So that was never transferred to CEDC.
No, only the top tank lot was, and I really don't know what the deal was with that or what.
So
I
was it-
truly don't know the answer to that.
Mistake.
It's gotta be a mistake.
Yeah. That would never been the plan,
I can't imagine it.
but something happened.
I just.
Unless, of course, CEDC had something to do with putting in the water tank and there was some sort of grant stipulation, something or other, who knows? Guess you'd have to try to find it. Because I don't know when the water tank is put in.
Well, that was one of the first things that happened.
Back then,
That was one of the first things they used.
Because
They had to put in
ran the
Somewhere
water
of a
through,
road.
right?
And
They stopped at, Malloy's, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
where there's a pump
And,
station.
Bob had to put from the pump station into wherever he was going to his lot. But the water tank was in there before that.
I'm gonna say, it makes no sense for us to keep anything but locked at the water tanks.
I think we can do a little more research here.
That says has easement for the water tank and lines likely affects half of the lot.
Oh,
That town has rights for water line and third tank.
There'll be
No action, but-
tonight?
no, it's definitely something that needs more research.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, that's the history of it, and
Yeah.
basically, I thought everything was transferred to Pavilion other than the water tank lot.
That's what I would have thought.
Thank you for bringing this to our attention.
Clear as mud. All right. Any other questions on that?
Oh, not for tonight. No. There will be questions.
Is there any other business? No other business, we'll go on to storm update.
Storm update, the second project that I submitted has been cleared, so we should be seeing those funds soon. I do need to wrap my head around the town damaged roads, which is our huge project, so tomorrow I may, close my office to get that work done so that I can, get this to FEMA. We have a meeting on Thursday, and my intention is to have this buttoned up and get it over to them, for our meeting. And that's it. Yeah. We do have a, warrant article, to, use some monies for, to wrap up the roads. So to, mitigation efforts for riprapping ditches, upsizing of culverts, those things. Working with Tim to make sure that we have a mitigation plan in place to submit to FEMA. We have to have approval for that prior to doing any work. So this is kind of work that's going on at this point in time during the winter to prepare for.
We'll move on to select board reports. Anything from Shane?
Don't have nothing.
Anything from KJ?
Just a question for Jess and your, town manager report. Are you gonna give us an update about, any guidance you received from the federal government or the state around public money? Okay. Okay.
And don't have anything. So we'll move on to town manager's report.
No, we now have a YouTube page. I had, which I will be uploading this recording to. I had 6 applications for assistance, and in January, we awarded $4,677 for aid. 81% was in rental assistance. Obviously, it's the winter time and people are getting their eviction notices. We did have ongoing issues with the furnace. We had a burner relay, which was replaced on January 21st. And we are continuing to do work to make sure that the furnace stays operable. We're waiting on a quote from a plumbing company for after they conducted an assessment. And we have a warrant article for funds if we need those for this repair. Don't yet know what that dollar amount looks like, but we want to be prepared in the event we need it. I received introductions to BEA and NBRC representatives, thanks to Erica Canales. So we had a meeting here with 5 individuals. And that conversation was focused around the New Hampshire Invest Housing Champions program. That's state funded, so that still has funds behind it. The Lancaster Housing Authority now only has 1 open position, and they are working to refresh their bylaws and will work towards drafting a new agreement with the Berlin Housing Authority in 2025. So we'll look forward to seeing that at a future agenda. Received notice from the Department of Justice and the Treasury Department. I thought I printed it out somewhere. It was based on the guidelines. So there's New York versus Trump, and anyone that's been associated with that. There was a slew of messages this morning regarding funding and kind of the back and forth between the executive order and what's going on legally. So right now they are saying that things are back in place, but everything is very fluid. So we're looking for more guidance from them as we proceed. We did receive notice from our oil, diesel, and gas supplier that because of the tariffs, what they know is that there's going to be a 10% increase in tariffs on Canadian energy. So they're anticipating an increase in the prices ranging from 10 cents a gallon to 35 cents a gallon, depending on the product and the location it's sourced from. So we will be seeing some increases for our fuel, and just be prepared for lots of changes. I don't think, at this point in time, we really things are very fluid, and we'll be looking for I thought it was really great because I had Chief Woodworth and Highway Director Brown in my office this morning. There was a vehicle on Main Street who wouldn't start. They called the police department, and the police department was like, hey, we won't ticket you, we get it. And, they let Tim's guys know not to back it in. And so hopefully the vehicle was being removed. But I thought that was very neighborly like. I also had some great feedback from downtown businesses. I was out with the kids this weekend, and they were very pleased with the sidewalk situation. So they're feeling like the sidewalks are being maintained, and so it's good for those guys. And I think that's it for me for tonight. What's going on?
Questions for Jen? All right, we have some information. There's a planning board meeting notice for February 12th, 2025 at 6:30 p.m. Had land use permits granted for 17 Burnside Street, 354 Elm Street, and 21 Portland Street. And at this point, we will need to go into a non-public session, RSA 91A semicolon 3 2L. I would entertain a motion.
For what purpose?
Consideration of legal advice provided by legal counsel, either in writing or orally, to one or more members of the public body, even when legal counsel is not present.
One question before you do that, did you require full media?
They're in Littleton this evening, At the deliberative-
They'll come back,
at the deliberative session.
just replace it, will be the same,
I'm sorry?
is this, the owl here, is this that, replace full media, or will it be no?
For this evening.
Just for this.
Just for this tonight.
Yeah, the conflict.
Oh, I just wanted to grab it. Things will continue like normal.
The,
Do you want to do public comments before?
no,
I'll make a motion to go into non-public session.
A second.
got a motion in a second to go into non-public session. Under Article 91A3 2L. Is there any further discussion from the board? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Shane?
Aye.
KJ? Aye.
Honestly, it's more than what we can handle.